ओम शांति, ओम शांति। अच्छा, अभी शांति की किरणें कैसे फैलाएंगे?
How can the rays of peace be spread? What should we do for that? Baba says, become a bestower of peace and a bestower of happiness. So becoming a deity of peace or a deity of happiness. Who would be the giver, in fact? It would be the bestower. That is someone who has a great treasure with themselves. I have seen many givers, many philanthropists. I have seen charitable people and great philanthropists, but Baba has made us bestowers of blessings. No one had ever heard this expression that anyone could become a great bestower of blessings with the human form. There should be such peace and such happiness within, as if someone feels it in the form of a blessing. It doesn't require any effort. Just there is the feeling there was such a situation, someone was there, that all my sorrow and peacelessness is finished and gone away. The harshness of sorrow has gone. Kalesh is a word that refers to extremes of sorrow, and sorrow is like an imprisonment. It's a word which refers to someone who is in an environment which is constantly disturbed, where there is a lot of harshness, brutality of the mind, emotions and body. So Kalesh is a word that brings disturbance within, because it refers to a very terrible situation that makes you shiver. So what would be the condition of the mind? And the money all disappears in a house like that. The money always flies away from a house where there is that much harshness in the behavior. They also say that the urns of water dry up in an environment of family violence. If there is that kind of harshness, then this urn of our head dries up, and if anyone just hits it a bit, it breaks. Baba has given us such knowledge. Who can absorb the knowledge? What Baba had said, those who are weak, they are not able to absorb the knowledge. Have you noted this? Those who are weak are unable to absorb knowledge. Yesterday, Sister Mohini had mentioned that if there is a bit of weakness and carelessness, then you won't be able to manage, so do not do this. So in the next 3 days, do such tapasya within that for all time your weaknesses and insufficiencies disappear. Individually, each one should do this.
जैसे कल बाबा बताया था ना बाबा को क्या क्या अच्छा बाबा की पालना लेनी है ना
Because here you have come to take the sustenance of Baba.
तो बाबा को अच्छा लगता था
And Baba used to like
मुरली सुन करके कोई एकांत में मुरली को
that
अच्छी तरह
after
से
the
मनाना
Murli, someone would go off on their own and churn on the Murli.
दूसरा चलते फिरते उठते बैठते
And then also one who, while they're doing all the different activities and walking around and so on, would do this in silence.
जैसे विश्वरतन दादा है
Like, for example, Brother Vishwaratan.
आदि से लेकर
He has been this way since the beginning. I don't think anyone has heard his voice ever being raised. And he has done so much service of the yagya, and still he is doing. He would have served everyone. He didn't do much in the way of speeches, but he has written a great deal. He's done so much physical work, yet he is never seen tired, and anytime he's asked to do something, he will always say yes. He will never say, I'm tired now, I'm not able to do this. Now there are 1,000 brothers, but at that time there were less than 10. As you walk around and do different things, practice this in Madhuban, to do it in silence. In fact, in our work, there isn't much need to speak. Some people feel they have to speak because of the work, but I find that, in fact, while doing the work, there's really no need to speak. Anyone whose stage is good, elevated, and high, pure, make it now. There is a brother.
Last
year I had a little chit-chat with him, and such change has taken place within him. And today I was very happy, and he was very happy as we said good morning. All the disturbances of the stage is finished, and his unnecessary worries have finished. Someone may do something wrong, but why should we get a heavy head about that? Is it right or is it wrong? Simply, I should not do any mistake, because this is the yagya of God. This is the home of the bestower of fortune. Each one comes to Baba's home to create their fortune. So something that happened a long time ago, we had a very small room, which was the center. And when there are very good priests in the temples, they sit in such a way so that when people come to view the deity, they leave in a stage of great satisfaction. And we used to have the aim to sit in that way in the center from the morning until the night, so that whoever came should not leave empty-handed from Baba's home. They should feel that they had come to God's home. If you say Brahma Kumari, sometimes people get afraid. I say, okay, there's no need to speak about my name, but you have come to the home of God.
अखबार वाले भी आए होंगे, सन्यासी भी आए होंगे,
that
छोटे से
may
बड़े
be
बड़े महात्मा।
people who are sannyasis or
अखबार वाले भी
journalists.
आए थे, कुछ उल्टा अखबार में डाला था
Sometimes the journalists would write wrong things.
माफी मांगने के लिए,
Sometimes they would come to excuse
फिर जाकर अच्छा
themselves,
डाला।
and then they would go and
बना
put the right things in.
फोन बोन तो था ही नहीं तभी,
And we had to meet because there was no
जब फोन
telephone.
क्या है, कुछ भी
The center was very simple.
किसी भाई को भेजा, भाई आपने अखबार में डाला है, आकर देखो तो सही मैंने क्या काम करा।
And so the man had come to see what is the work of the sisters. Then there was a great sage who had come. I'm just giving you some examples.
उन्नति ऐसी स्वस्थिति ऐसी हो,
Our stage of the self should be so good that great service takes place simply from our stage and the arrow hits its target.
हरियाली हो जाए,
In the desert land, there should be
पिघल जाए।
greenness and the mountains should melt.
ये पुरुषार्थ नहीं है,
This is not effort, this is deep love.
पुरुषार्थ में कभी ढीलापन है तो कभी
In effort, there is sometimes enthusiasm and sometimes it gets cooled down.
लगन जिसको है ना,
But someone who has deep love,
वो अग्नि उसकी कभी ठंडी नहीं होती है।
their fire never gets dim or cold.
लगन की अग्नि
The fire of love
सदा जैसे ज्योत सदा जगी रहे ना,
remains always
वो कहते
lit.
हैं नींद से जगाओ इसको,
And so awaken
सोए हुए को जगाना,
anyone from their sleep.
लगन जगाएगी।
And what awakens people is the deep love. And suddenly their eyes will open and they will feel the inspiration.
बिगर बुलाए आएगा,
They will come even if we don't call them.
नहीं।
And once they have come once, they will never forget this place.
तो कितने प्रकार की सेवा है,
There are many kinds of service.
लिस्ट है।
There's a big list.
हम पहले छिपके लिस्ट रखती थी सेवा की।
Previously, we used to keep a list of different forms of service. We didn't have a diary or pencil, but I used to keep a list of what's possible for
कितने प्रकार
service.
की सेवा बाबा ने कही है,
And
उसमें कौन सा रहा हुआ सेवा है।
Baba has mentioned different forms, and I would list them and see which form still is yet to be done,
लगन है ना,
because this is love.
तो सामने वो सेवा आ जाती है, यहाँ पहुँच जाते हैं।
So then, wherever there is service, then I will
सेवा सामने आई,
reach.
यहाँ हम पहुँच गए।
Either the service will come to me or I will reach to the place where there is service. This is the wonder of simply moving around, walking, standing, sitting in that deep feeling that I must remain in Baba's remembrance, not just establish myself in remembrance, but retain the stage of remembrance over a long period of time. There's no worry about service, but service comes, or someone brings it.
और कार भी अपने आप आती है,
Cars come by themselves to pick me up.
ड्राइवर भी मिल जाता है।
A driver is there.
नंबी है तो 11 नंबर बस है।
If they're not there, then I still have my 11 number bus, even up until I was 55 or so. I would still always walk. I wouldn't use money. I didn't use the bicycle or the rickshaw because I couldn't sit in a cycle rickshaw and hear the heavy breathing and tiredness of the poor man who was running. I couldn't bear the sound of his heavy breathing and his effort, so I would rather walk than sit in his rickshaw.
मुस्कुराए।
But if I would meet someone, it's simply I would smile and not talk so much.
अगर कोई ऐसे आत्ममानी रहने का उसको शौक हो ना,
If there is somebody who has the fondness of developing soul consciousness, I would sit in a corner with them and we would develop the experience of that stage. This is the love between the Dadis.
मनो दादी को कभी नहीं भूलता है.
Manor Dadi and I will never forget.
पुराना प्यार है, कभी हम एक दूसरे से
This
नहीं
is a
हुए होंगे,
very
कभी नहीं.
old relationship. We would never have got unhappy or upset with each other.
कभी नहीं कहा होगा ये क्या करती है, ये नहीं करती,
I
अच्छा नहीं करती.
never would have said, what is she doing? She shouldn't have done this.
दिल में सच्चा प्यार है.
Because this is true love in the heart for one another. We are the original jewels of Baba, all of us,
नूरी रतन है.
the jewels of his eyes.
तो बात क्या करूं?
So what should
हाँ,
we
आप
speak?
कोई भी आत्ममानी स्थिति का कैसे कैसे
How
नहीं बोलोगे?
is,
आओ बैठ.
come, let's sit together and enjoy the soul conscious
निर्मला
stage.
बहन ने कितनी देखी होंगी ना.
Dr. Nirmala must have seen Kikani,
वो जिसने मम्मा को भी ज्ञान दिया था.
who had given knowledge to Mama.
मेरी तो प्यारी सखी थी.
She was my very beloved friend,
उसने ही पहले मंत्र मेरे को दिया था.
and she had given
Baba
me the
Gita पढ़ रहा
first
था.
mantra. Baba used to read the Gita,
बाबा का भी उसके साथ बहुत प्यार था.
and Baba loved her very much.
लौकिक में भी सुपुत्री.
She was related
उसका
logically.
बाप नहीं था, माँ की बेटी थी प्यारी.
She had lost her
स्कूल में भी
father,
बड़ी अच्छी थी.
and
इकट्ठे
Baba
पढ़ते
used to love her a lot. She studied very well in school, and we were studying together.
थे. मेरे को कहा, जानकी
She said to me, Janki,
क्या करना है तेरे को लाइफ में?
what are you going to do with your
मैंने
life?
कहा, इसको तो नशा चढ़ गया है.
And then I said, hey, this one is full of intoxication.
ज्ञान सुनने मुझे पता था बाबा में.
I knew that there was Baba, but I saw her in such a state of intoxication. She said, are you going to drink and give to others to drink nectar, or are you going to do something else? I said, yes, drinking nectar. And she gave me a little note from the Guru Mukhi scripture, a small one.
तावीज़ करके रख दी.
I kept it like a talisman.
अमृत पिएगी और पिलाएगी.
I will drink nectar and I will give it to others to
मेरा
drink.
जीवन का फैसला मेरी बहन ने सखी
And in this way, my friend had, in a second, established the future of my life.
उल्टी आई गया.
And then I saw how she was flying.
जानकी नशा चढ़ता है.
She said, are you in intoxication by going into the soul conscious stage? I said, come, let's go to the garden.
घंटे बीत गए.
And we sat for hours.
तो ये क्यों बता रही हूँ? ऐसा गुप्त अभ्यास करना जरूरी है.
I'm telling you this because such subtle secret effort is very necessary.
देखा ये अंदर वहाँ बैठे हैं.
Someone may come looking and they'll see a person sitting in meditation.
अनायास बाबा भी आ गया.
And suddenly Baba arrived from Clifton, and it was from that time that I experienced special love from Baba, that Baba saw his daughters sitting together practicing soul consciousness.
भरतपुर में आई मेरे पास क्योंकि इधर से उधर जाना नहीं आता था.
We used to have to travel a lot, and Manor Dadi had come and said, look, you're walking a lot.
तीन तेरे सुख में बहुत रहती हूँ.
I said, I remain in a great deal of supersensuous joy, and we used to sit together and discuss these things. What exactly does it mean to remain and have the fortune of staying in supersensuous joy?
सोने के लिए जगह नहीं.
At that time, there wasn't proper food to eat or place to stay.
खटिया नहीं, वो नहीं, बिस्तरा नहीं.
We didn't have proper sleeping arrangements. We had a brick for a pillow and a sari for our cover.
नहीं तो एक आने का टमाटर गाजर ले लिया.
I would get a tomato and a carrot and make lunch with that. And I was in supersensuous joy,
उस झूले में झूलते रहो,
swinging in that
खच्चा
swing.
से गिर सकते हो, झूले पे तो बैठे हैं,
You can fall off your cot, but
Baba
in a
संभाल
swing
रहा है,
you will sit there and Baba takes care of you
अभी
anyway.
भी झूले में झूलते हैं,
Even now I enjoy sitting in the swing.
नाम सुनते ही मुझे झूलता हुआ दिखेंगे,
When I
Baba
hear
का
the
झूले
word
में
swing,
फोटो है
I
हमारा,
start swinging myself. You've seen the photo of Baba in the swing. Baba had a lot of love for the swing.
देखे झूला कैसा है,
You've seen how the
Baba को एक
Indian
प्रेरणा
swings
आई,
are. Baba
यार
was
गरीब बात में
inspired,
झूला कहाँ से आएगा,
and
एक
we
खटिया
saw
थी,
it was a
उसके पाए
cot
निकाल दिए,
which had had its
उसमें रस्सी
legs
लगाई,
removed and
ऊपर
some
लकड़ी लगाई,
ropes had been
बाबा खुद
put
खड़ा होकर
up
के किसी भाई को खड़ा करके
and
झूला बना दिया,
arranged the wooden
आधा
frame
घंटा के
through
अंदर,
a brother who had built it within half an hour. And this
उस
was
झूले में
during
बच्चों
the
को
time of
बिठाया,
the beggary part, and then Baba
और फोटो
put
निकलवाए,
his children in the swing and got
वो फोटो
photos
भूल सकता है,
taken. Can you ever forget that photo
ये
of Baba
पालना
sitting
अभी
in
भी
the
हर एक ले
swing?
सकता है,
Now everyone can receive this kind of sustenance.
पालनहार है,
He is the
ईश्वर ने मुझे
sustainer.
पैदा किया है,
God has given birth to
माता
me,
पिता
the mother and father,
सखा,
the friend.
टीचर पे सखा हुए,
He's teacher and also friend. This is a wonder.
टीचर तो ऑफिशियली होता है,
Otherwise, the relationship with the teacher is
लेकिन
very
बाबा कहता है,
official.
मैं तुम्हारा सखा हूँ ना,
And Baba said, well, I'm your friend.
मैं तुम्हारा सखा हूँ,
You're my
इतनी
friend.
प्यार भरी फीलिंग दिया,
He gave
अभी
such a
तक
feeling of
कंपेनियन
love,
सखा है मेरा,
and so that he is still my companion till today. God is speaking, saying, I'm your friend, aren't I, your companion?
एक दिन ये शांति मैंने जहाँ टेनिस कोर्ट था,
I was in London.
आपने देखा होगा,
You may have
बहुत
seen
करके
Tennyson
हम आते
Road.
थे,
I used to
हाथ से
come.
पकड़ के वहाँ पैदल करता था,
No, not Tennyson Road. Before that, here in the Yagya,
बहुत
Baba
अच्छा
used to
मीठा
catch
लगता
hold
था
of
उस समय,
Dadi's hand, and they would walk together, and that felt very, very beautiful.
मुझे शर्म आता रहे,
Baba said, I'm
बच्ची
your
बच्ची के भाई
brother,
होते हैं, वो भाई समान होते हैं,
and I felt embarrassed. And
असल
Baba said,
सारा
when the
टाइम 2-4
girl
दिन जो दी ना
gets
वो भाषण ऐसी दी,
big, then
बच्चे
she's
जो बड़े
equal with the
होते हैं ना भाई
brother.
समान होते हैं, मुझे अंदर लगता बाबा मुझे बच्ची बच्ची करके, पर
Baba
गरीब
used to
भाषण
call me
सारा टाइम
child,
जब
child,
थी,
but the entire time I was in Madhuban, he gave me this
और पता
feeling
क्या है,
of being the equal with
मैं 2
me.
दिन ही थी, तीसरे दिन कहा जाओ क्यों बैठी हो बच्ची, बैठ इतना दिन हो गया,
I had
जो
sat
खट्टा
for
होते हैं
2
ना,
days.
घर में
Baba
बैठते नहीं,
said, you are
अभी
sitting a
translation
very
क्या
long
मिलेंगी,
time. I don't know
बच्ची
what kind
कमाने
of
वाली जो होती है,
translation you're getting, but the
ये भी
son
भगवान ने
has to go earning, so you can't just sit at
बैठी हो,
home
बाप तो खातिरी तो करता है,
because
खातिरी हो गई ना तुम्हारी,
you
तो
are
खातिरी नहीं
eating.
चाहिए बाबा, बच्ची
Baba
बच्चा
said,
बाप हो,
no,
ऐसे बच्चों को प्यार तो करता है,
the father will give love to the
क्यों
child,
यज्ञ का ख्याल अभी तक भी रहता है,
and the child will go and earn, because
ऐसे नहीं
even
शिव
now
बाबा
I'm
इतना
still
हमारा
concerned
सेंटर, हमारा
about
सेंटर, हमारी
maintaining the
एरिया,
yagya.
हमारा फलाना,
I'm not thinking this is my center or my area. I don't use the word mine.
बाबा का यज्ञ,
But this is Baba's yagya, so I have the concern to make sure that it
ये जो
prospers.
बाबा का यज्ञ है,
This, which is the
Baba
sacrificial
मेरा है,
fire of yagya, and Baba is mine.
और बाबा कहते तुम बच्चा मेरी हो, मेरी हो,
Baba
मेरी
says,
हो, मेरी
you are my son, you are
वो
mine.
जो आकर्षण है ना,
And there is this
वो
deep
कभी भी
attraction
दुनिया
between the
के
two,
आकर्षण उलझन से
which is
पार
so
लेके जाता
strong
है, ना
that it
आकर्षण
keeps us away
ना
from the
उलझन,
attraction as well as the
दोनों
confusion
से फ्री होना है,
that is brought on
इस
by
पर
the
ठीक है,
world. So Baba made us
कोई
free
भी
from
प्रकार
both
की
of these
उलझन ना
things
आवे,
in the bhatti. There was no question of any confusion
कुछ भी हो
about
जाए,
anything, no
क्या
matter
बड़ी
what
बात है,
happened. We would think that it's no big deal.
आकर्षण तो माया खींच लेंगी,
Maya will pull through some attraction.
क्यों यहाँ कुछ अप्राप्ति है तब माया ने खींचा।
If you feel some insufficiency, then Maya will
कुछ
pull
कभी
you.
असंतुष्टि है तो माया ने खींचा।
Any feeling of dissatisfaction means Maya will pull you.
इसलिए सदाई
Therefore, always
संपन्न भव है बाबा ने कहा। बच्ची
keep yourself in a stage of fullness.
ज्ञान नी तू आत्मा बन।
Become a knowledgeable
वो प्रिय
soul.
लगता है बाबा को।
This is the one that Baba loves.
ज्ञान
Knowledge,
सच्चा
truth,
समझदार शाना
wisdom,
बनाता है।
become truthful, knowledgeable, wise and clever.
सच्चा पहले
First
समझ-
truthful,
समझ से कम।
then wise.
जो कुछ करता है ज्ञान बताना
Gyan,
बड़ी बात नहीं है।
to speak Gyan is not a big thing,
बताना बड़ी बात नहीं है, पर समझ से काम लेना
but to get work done through deep
संकल्प
understanding,
भी समझ का है।
and understanding
संकल्प
is,
करने का फायदा।
thought is also a matter of understanding. Make sure that each thought
ऐसे भी नहीं
is
कहेंगे संकल्प आया
worthwhile.
है।
You can't say, well, the thought arose.
फायदा।
Ask yourself, what was the benefit?
अगर फायदा है तो ठीक, नहीं तो
If there
जरूरत
is
नहीं।
benefit, then fine. Otherwise, it's an unnecessary thought.
क्यों संकल्प में अभिमान न हो।
There shouldn't be arrogance within our
और संकल्प
thinking.
भी मेरा कोई नहीं सुनेगा मानेगा नहीं तो थोड़ा फीलिंग आएंगी।
Or I shouldn't have a feeling of being disheartened if nobody
संकल्प मेरा
accepts
कहाँ से
my
आया?
thought, because where did this word my
प्रतिदिन हम आगे
come
बढ़ते
for
जा
thought?
रहे
As
हैं।
we go forward day by day,
आत्मा
the soul,
परमात्मा की बाबा ने कितना अच्छा बोला है। भले गणेश हनुमान किसको भी याद करेंगे
you
पर अंदर
may
से
remember any other deity, but internally,
आत्मा का अविनाशी संबंध तो उनके साथ है
the
ना।
eternal relationship of the soul is with him,
भले
the
रिद्धि
soul
सिद्धि
and the
से कुछ
supreme
मिला,
soul. Even though you may
लेकिन
have
दिया भगवान
acquired any magical powers, still
अंदर
it
से
is
ये
given
भी
by
समझा
God.
नहीं है।
This much
इतनी
understanding
समझ
is there
अच्छी
within.
समझ है, जो दुनिया में
You must have
करोड़ों
such
आत्माएं को नहीं, वो
understanding,
हमको समझ में नहीं है
even
भगवान।
though hundreds of thousands of people in the world around you
एक
don't
मेवा है।
understand, but you understood and you made him your
सिर्फ
own.
इतना ही कहता है वो एक अपन को अशरीरी
Just
आत्मा
this one understanding that I'm the bodiless soul and he is the supreme soul, the soul is the dot. He said you have the 84 births part contained within. If you understand this,
और इसको मनन चिंतन करे ना पद
and if
ऊंचा
you
है।
think about this and churn, then you will get a high status.
मैं आत्मा हूँ तो अभिमान
I am
छूटेगा,
the
शांत रहना
soul,
सीखेगा।
then you will understand how to be peaceful and all your arrogance will go. If you feel God is your Father, then you will be able to experience love. I, the soul, am the top. The cycle of self-realization is in your awareness, and you go very, very deep. Like Baba had said, go into deep silence.
ड्रामा की नॉलेज बड़ी डीप है।
The knowledge of drama is very deep.
आत्मा
The soul
परमात्मा की फिर भी किसकी समझ में आ
and the
गया तो बुद्धि का
supreme
ताला
soul,
खुला।
if you get this understanding, then the intellect's lock has opened.
पर ड्रामा की नॉलेज से बहुत बड़ा रिच खजाना है अंदर।
There is a great wealthy treasure contained within the knowledge of drama
अडोल अचल स्थिति में रहने का।
to enable you to have a completely
अपन
stable
को
stage,
बाप को समय अपन को जान बाप के
to
सर्व
know
संबंध के
yourself,
कनेक्शन से
to be in all connections with the Father,
सर्व संबंध के कनेक्शन से जो
And
लाइट माइट मिली है
you receive light and might from all of those connections, and this enables you to get all the other souls to connect with the Father and receive their own. So it is as if we are doing simply the work of an agency, pointing the souls towards the source.
बाबा से ले लो।
Take from Baba.
इशारे को कैच कर ले, सपने में करे या संकल्प से करे,
They can pick
या
up
सामने
the indications in dreams or right in front of you.
संकल्प से भी हो रही है।
through thought. A lot of service takes place through dreams and thought. And somebody simply comes in front and you will see service happens to them.
ऐसे आत्मवान स्थिति नहीं बनेगी, ऐसे
But
बाबा का प्यार की शक्ति नहीं खींचेगी.
Unless you make this soul conscious stage, you will not be able to draw the love of Baba. These are the conditions.
Unconditional love देता है, पर condition
He
बहुत है.
gives unconditional love, yes, but there are conditions.
बाबा की प्यार का जो
The love of Baba,
और कहीं नहीं,
so that there is no one else at all for you, no attraction, no confusion of any issues.
उलझन में जैसे कि मैं क्या करूं, मेरे को समझ में नहीं आता है.
Because in confusion you don't know what to do.
कल परसों नीचे भी, यहाँ भी अभी भी देखती हूँ.
I see a lot of people sitting with their fists on their face, and this is a habit of thinking in a confused way, that the intellect is not clear.
किसी को उदासी और सुस्ती की,
Depression or laziness has become an internal nature. Why? Because there's still confusion, there's still no clarity inside.
क्या करना, मुझे क्या करना है,
What do I have to
और
do?
क्या कर रहे हैं वो देख करके मूंझ रहे हैं.
And then they see what others are doing and get confused by that.
औरों का ज़्यादा फिक्र है, अपना नहीं है.
They have a lot of concern about others, but no concern for themselves. And this is why they have a heavy head.
अगर हमको अपना ज़्यादा फिक्र है तो सिर हल्का है.
If I have more concern for myself, then my head would be very light. Think about it.
और बाबा से प्यार खींचने का,
To draw the love of Baba and have clarity would happen only when the head is light. If the head is light, then you feel good and the connection gets made and you receive many, many things. You get much more than you expected to. So the nature of being heavy is an old nature. And this is one of the results. Yesterday a good thing emerged. Not ordinary things came out. Lightness within each one is what's really needed. Just as you saw Baba and you see Dadi always light. Dadi called this morning to find out how is everything. I said, yes, you see, she's concerned. Everyone is fine in Gyan Sarovar. Yes, all are fine. Everyone fine in Madhuban? Yes. And also, when you're in this way doing the administration, everything remains good. Anyone who is an instrument, thinking of themselves as an instrument, even if I say Dadi, she says Baba. I say, yeah, I know, but she says, hey, Baba. The whole day and night, in thought and breath, in awareness, Baba. In service, there is Baba. The one who is getting things done is Baba. So what do? We observe the game of the Bhagwat. The game of the Bhagwat, the game of God, the game of creating heaven, seeing that and also being an actor in that. This is the wonderful way to be. I have a part to play, I have a very good part. Sometimes, every day, Baba's words are such. You look at yourself, look at Baba, then look at everyone else. The happiness of all of us.
ये बाकी 2 महीना है ना,
There's 2
अक्टूबर
months
आधा तो हुआ,
remaining in this year. October's almost finished.
2004 में कुछ
So in
साक्षात्कार की धूम बजेगी।
2004,
वैसे हम
let us
साक्षात
see if
बाप
the visions can
समान
start. But for
बनने के लिए
that,
जो
I
सीजन शुरू हुई है ना,
have to become like Baba. This is the season for becoming like Baba.
पुरुषार्थी है, कमी है, कमजोरी, वो सब खत्म।
Finish off this laborious kind of effort where you are dealing with all your difficulties.
इतना कोई इतना बाप सदाई समान बनने
Baba
की दृष्टि से
is
देखता
giving
रहा है,
you the
देखता रहा है,
drishti constantly of making you the same as himself.
और शिव बाबा ने
And
ब्रह्मा
Shiv
बाबा
Baba
कहता है, ये भी तो समझो हुए,
has done a
निराकार
great deal
परमात्मा
through
इसके
Brahma,
द्वारा
which is
ज्ञान
something to
सागर
understand.
ज्ञान
He
का
has
सारा सार सुना रहा है।
explained all the essence of the ocean of knowledge through this one.
सागर वो
Shiv Baba is the
ये
ocean,
सार सुना रहा है।
and this one
और
is
हम
talking
कितने
the
भाग्यशाली
essence.
हैं,
And we
सब
are
कुछ
so
भूल
fortunate to have forgotten
बाप
everything
की बात सुन रहे हैं,
and listen only to Baba.
कुछ याद ही नहीं आता है।
Nothing remains in the remembrance, nothing else.
इतने तक
To this extent,
शास्त्र बहुत पढ़े होंगे,
I have read many
कुछ याद
scriptures,
नहीं है।
but I don't remember any of them.
जो बाबा ने फिर रिपीट किया है ना, वो याद है।
But I remember the points that Baba continues to repeat to us, to reiterate.
जो बाबा ने सिखाया है ना, वो याद है।
I remember the
स्कूल की
things
पढ़ाई
that
भी हम
Baba
नहीं जानते,
has
कुछ नहीं।
taught
हिस्ट्री
us.
ज्योग्राफी क्या होती है,
I can't remember my school learning or what is history and geography.
परंतु बताया था आप लोगों को, सिर्फ अर्थमेटिक में 100 मार्क्स लेती थी, 99 दे देते, 1 मार्क कम करके।
I used to
हिसाब
get
किताब
99% in maths. I was very, very good at that. The rest I was no good at.
आज भी हमारे अकाउंटेंट जो है ना, सब फेल हो
And
जाते हैं।
even
मैं
today,
कैमरा देंगे हमारे पास,
I
कहाँ
can
क्या
check
कहाँ
the
क्या।
accountants and I
और
know
कर्म का हिसाब
everything,
बताओ किसका
and
होगा।
I don't want any burden of anyone's karma. I don't want
ना
any
सिर पर
karmic
हमारे
burden
किसका
on my
बोझ हो,
head,
हमारे
on
ऊपर
I
हो,
don't
न
want
किसी
to
का, मेरे ऊपर
be
हो, न मेरा किसी
a burden on anyone. I want to be free.
तो कर्म अकाउंट्स जो है ना,
So the accounts of karma,
पुण्य कर्म का खाता भले जमा होता
let
जाए,
the account of charity continue
दिलवात्मा
to
बनने वाली
increase
आत्मा
so
को
that
चांस
the
मिलता
soul
है।
gets the opportunity to become a
जो सत्युग में
divine
नहीं
soul.
करेंगे, वो अब करेंगे।
What you cannot do in the golden age,
अब
do it
करने का
now,
सत्युग में आने वालों को सुख मिलेगा, आने वालों के लिए सत्युग में आने
so
वालों
that
के लिए कर रहे हैं।
you're doing all the things for those who
वो
are
नहीं
to
आएंगे
come
तो शोभा
into
सत्युग
the
कैसे
golden
होंगे?
age. If they don't, then how would the golden age look good without all the golden aged
कर्म
people?
इसलिए कर रहे हैं,
This is why we are
पर
doing
कर्म कौन
karma.
सिखा रहा है? बाबा सिखा रहा है,
Baba
बच्चे
is
ऐसे
teaching
करें।
us
श्रीमत
exactly
है,
how to do the right karma through Srimad.
जरा भी मन मत,
Let there not be
अपनी
any
नेचर
manmat
पुरानी
or
अभिमान वाली
any of our
बुद्धि
old
चलाती है,
nature of arrogance which causes the
और
intellect
बीच
to
में
work in an
द्वैत भाव
arrogant
पैदा
way
करती है।
and create division of opinion.
एक वेद में बता अद्वैत और द्वैत में कितना अंतर
In
है।
the Vedas, they speak about the difference between a harmony of opinion and
द्वैत
division
भाव
of opinion.
जब तक है,
As long as there
बना
is the
द्वेष भाव,
feeling of division of opinion, it's
वो
animosity,
जिसका मिटा
and this has to go.
वो ऊंच मत पाएगा।
If someone can achieve this,
और
they will
एक
get a high
ध्यान
status.
खींचो आते शांति दिवा बनो, फिर
And
ऊंच
Baba
पद पाने की
has
निशानी
told us
बताता है।
how to be the bestower of peace, and through that, how to be
उसमें द्वेष
one who
भाव नहीं
has a high status. That is somebody who has no feeling of antagonism or opposition with another.
के साथ हमारे नेचर अनुसार चले तो दोस्त
To be
और
with
थोड़ी शिक्षा देवे,
someone according to our nature,
वो कड़वी
to
जिसको शिक्षा कड़वी लगती
give
है, तो मीठा
harsh
बन नहीं सकता।
teachings to someone who should be a friend. that can never feel peaceful, sweet. Yesterday we spoke about sweetness.
मीठा बनेंगे कौन?
Who can become sweet?
मेरा प्यारा
The
बाबा बैठा
soul who has the feeling of being with Baba and the thought that all souls are good and everyone has their specialities and they sit with Baba. If not today, then tomorrow. Subtly, they have a great deal of patience. So much patience is needed. Baba had spoken about this in one Murli. The knowledge of drama is such that thoughts will not run, but be patient and not think about how something will happen or what will happen. Drama teaches us patience, and as the days go by, then to speak a couple of words, there will be very deep meaning contained within the two words. That you had maintained patience, had the soul conscious stage, love of Baba, and the essence of this knowledge. You can speak it in just two words, which will hit the target. And two words, such an effect will be there that were not given in 1,000 other words. For that, I don't see who is doing what, but each one is doing such that will inspire others. Do it for all time. And whatever I do, see, the atmosphere of Madhuban, of love and friendship that is accumulated here, let that be spread throughout the world, because Baba's wonder is that he calls his children from every corner of the world here to Madhuban. Om Shanti. Now what do we have to do? Spread the rays of peace and create greenery in the dry earth. Let your arrow hit someone to such an extent that they get a new life. Om Shanti.